The Southern Liang Dynasty Fong Rins. Accounts of anomalies once told a story. A young man named Chi Wang went up the mountain to gather firewood. He saw several children playing chess. Chi Wang approached to take a closer look. After a while, the boy said to him, "Why haven't you left yet?" Chi Wang stood up only then, when he was about to pick up his axe. The wooden handle of the axe had completely rotted. When he returned home, the people of his generation were no longer there. Chi Wang only watched a game of chess. 100 years had passed. Today, the story we are going to tell also originates from a game of Go. His name is Chan Se. Just by looking at this name you can tell it's extraordinary. There's definitely a big chance. Sure enough, during this outing with colleagues, next to several huge ancient trees, I found a strange Go board that resembled the legendary The Rotten Go game. Chan Se looked at the Go game layout in front of him and felt more and more awkward about it. The white stones could have been very connected. Unfortunately, there was one missing connection. After pondering for a moment, Chan Se took out a white stone from the box, placed on Tianjin. The situation immediately changed. The white side, which was originally at a disadvantage, instantly turned the tables. Chan Se nodded in satisfaction. Then he prepared to take out his phone to take a photo of this Go board to show off to his colleagues. However, he was surprised to find that his phone, which still had 80% battery, had unexpectedly turned off. Nevertheless, without thinking too much, he prepared to return to the campsite to charge it. Upon arriving at the campsite, Chan Se was completely dumbfounded. The tent that he had just set up was nowhere to be found. Just as Chan Se was wondering if this was a prank, 2 police officers appeared behind him. After talking to the police, he found out that they were looking for a young man named Chan Se, who had been missing for half a month. Upon hearing the police officer's words, Chan Se was stunned. "Have I been missing for almost half a month myself?" Chan Se didn't have time to ask another question. A wave of dizziness rushed to his head. When he heard the voice again, he was already lying on the ambulance, his body visibly shriveled and withered. Only heard someone say, "The patient is severely dehydrated. Life signs have been lost." Then, Chan Se completely lost consciousness. When he regained consciousness, he found that he couldn't move his body. He couldn't speak, and his eyes couldn't open. But his hearing was amazing. A deafening thunder sounded like it was right next to Chan Se's ear. He could clearly hear the sound of raindrops falling on the ground. He could even hear the small grass outside swaying in the wind and rain. The rain listens to all things, unfolding a scroll within the heart. Such a mysterious feeling. Although invisible, it can still be heard. After some discernment, Chan Se found himself in a ruined temple. He was puzzled as he clearly remembered being sent to the hospital by the police. How could he suddenly appear here? After a moment of analysis, Chan Se discovered that all of this might be related to the mysterious Go game. Could it be that his grandfather's stories were true? What he encountered was the legendary The Rotten Go game. As the saying goes, leaves fall softly by the rotten board. Under ancient trees, no players to be found. Inspired, a lone stone rests at Tianjin. Turning back once more, mountains and seas stretched profound. He just didn't understand why he was here at this moment. Someone shouted, "Hurry up! The mountain god temple is just ahead. Let's take shelter there from the rain." Chan Se was overjoyed, thinking finally someone had come. The group that arrived were itinerant merchants from nearby villages. The leader was a middle-aged man named Sherlin Zhang. Sherlin Zhang was grateful that the mountain god temple was still standing. There is a place to take shelter in this Nyokue mountain. He immediately ordered someone to light a fire for warmth. By the light of the fire, he discovered Chan Se lying on the ground. Upon inspection, he found that Chan Se's forehead was very hot. Fortunately, there was still a pulse. Chan Se cannot speak. He prayed in his heart for you to quickly dial 999 for help. Immediately, he asked his companion to boil some hot water for Chan Se to drink. Then everyone carried Chan Se to the vicinity of the bonfire. The traveling merchants gathered around the bonfire and started chatting. Such heavy rain. It looks like we can only spend the night here tonight. Someone said that entering Nyokue Mountain might be unstable. Sherlin John said, "There is no problem. This beggar should have been here for a long time. He is fine. With so many of us here, what are we afraid of? Even a tiger could be scared away." Although invisible, Chan Se could hear their conversation clearly. What are these people talking about? How come these strange words sound like ancient language? At this moment, Sherlin Zhang brought a bowl of hot water and fed it to Chan Se. After drinking the water, Chan Se felt much more comfortable. Just as he was thinking that Sherlin Zhang is a really good person, he heard him say, "This beggar seems very weak, afraid he won't live much longer." Chan Se brought back his thoughts judging from the conversation of these people. He realized he should have traveled through time. "Brother Sherlin, it seems like the rain has stopped," a traveling merchant said. Sherlin Zhang checked and replied, "It's getting dark. It's unsafe to travel at night. Let's stay here tonight." Just then, a scholar walked in from outside, drenched all over. He claimed that he had entered the mountains for fun, but got separated from his friends. Just as he was getting scared, he saw a flicker of fire here, so he walked over. He even said, "Even if you are bandits, it doesn't matter. I would rather leave my money behind as long as I can go down the mountain with myself." Sherlin Zhang and others warmly invited the young man to come in and warm up by the fire. They also said, "We are not bandits," and promised to take him down the mountain together the next day. Chan Se just found it strange. Why couldn't he hear the footsteps of this scholar himself? Something must be wrong with this person. But Sherlin Zhang and the others didn't overthink it. Just asked Scholar where he lives, which academy he belongs to. Scholar claims to be surnamed Lu, living in Narcissus Town at the foot of the mountain, and is a student of Green Pine Academy. Sherlin Zhang is envious and busy inviting Scholar to eat. Chan Se thought to himself, "This scholar is really good at acting. If it weren't for my amazing hearing ability, I might have even believed him myself." Upon second thought, since he needs to act, it means he's not an exceptionally talented individual. This realization brought Chan Se some peace of mind. The scholar expressed his gratitude and said, "I discovered a fully mature mountain king ginseng on my way here. Most importantly, 3 small red ropes were tied to the ginseng stem by the skilled mountain chaser to prevent the mountain king ginseng from escaping. If the fear hadn't gripped the heart at that time and being afraid of damaging the medicinal herb, he would have dug it up then. To repay your help, I am willing to take you to dig the ginseng." "Where is the mountain king ginseng located?" "Brother Sherlin, let's go digging," everyone said eagerly. Chan Se silently realized that he had fallen into a trap. However, he could not speak and could only feel anxious. The scholar continued, "That place is not far from here. It will only take less than the time for burning 2 sticks of incense to go there and back. If you all really want to go, it's best to follow me before dawn." After listening to the scholar's story, Sherlin Zhang arranged for Xiao Dong and Old Jean to go dig ginseng. Immediately hand the scholar a torch for lighting on the way. The scholar, however, kept retreating in fear, saying, "No need, no need. I'm afraid the torch will burn my robe. You guys can hold on to it." Then the 2 people followed the scholar and walked towards the mountains. At this time, Chan Se was extremely anxious but had no way to solve it. Thinking that if something happened to these merchants, he would not be spared either. Chan Se was so anxious that he gritted his teeth and trembled all over. The traveling merchants thought he was having a seizure and afraid he would bite his tongue, so they casually picked up a wooden stick and stuffed it into his mouth. Chan Se could only secretly curse these stupid people in his heart. After a while, a roar came from the mountains, startling everyone. Everyone subconsciously drew out their swords to be on guard. Chan Se was also shocked into a jolt. Startled by the sound, Chan Se realized that he could actually move. At this moment, Xiaodong ran back. Scholar and old Jean said their feet were sprained. He came back to call everyone to go over and help. Chansei found that Xiaodong walks without making any sound. He thought to himself, could it be that he is not human anymore? Just as everyone was getting ready to leave, Chansei shouted loudly, Xiaodong, there's a problem. Xiaodong urged upon seeing this. Don't listen to this beggar's nonsense. Let's go quickly. Seeing that no one believed him, he shouted again. Xiaodong is already dead. Shilin Zhang and others stopped after hearing this. Subconsciously, they looked toward Xiaodong. In the glare of the torch, Xiaodong's expression was very wrong. Chansei said sternly, associating with a tiger will only lead to trouble. Just like that scholar, he's already a charnel spirit. He's planning to lead you to be devoured by the fierce tiger. Charnel spirit. Shilin Zhang was so scared that she held the torch in front of Xiaodong. With this torch shining on him, Xiaodong unexpectedly turned into smoke and drifted away. Everyone was pale with fear, and they quickly gathered around Chansei. Chansei saw through the charnel spirit's scheme. Let Shilin Zhang and others pick up a life. But the fierce tiger in the forest refuses to give up. So I'm here to ask for an explanation. Everyone gathered around the bonfire with their weapons. The atmosphere in the temple instantly became tense. Shilin Zhang just wanted to ask Chansei how she was doing, but Chansei signaled him not to make a sound. The tiger is approaching. Suddenly, a gust of evil wind swept through the mountains. Then a roar echoed through the mountains. A giant and enormous tiger appeared in front of the temple. Shilin Zhang and others were frightened by the words, and the items in their hands fell to the ground with a clang. Each of them was so scared that their legs turned weak. Chansei secretly thought that from the momentum and the previous charnel spirit, it was definitely not an ordinary tiger. With this bunch of weaklings and me, who is a waste and half-blind, let alone a tiger monster, even an ordinary tiger would be hard to defeat. The people in the temple were even more afraid to even breathe. Strangely, the fierce tiger did not enter the temple gates. Instead, it spoke in a clear voice. I have no conflict with you, and have not intruded into your mountain temple. Why do you want to help them? Upon hearing Chansei's mention of negotiation, he thought to himself, it's a dead end anyway. Might as well take a chance. Immediately, he spoke to the person outside the door. Because we mind our own business, that's why when the scholar came, I didn't pay any attention. But Shilin Zhang is pure-hearted. I owe him a favor. I won't let him die like this. The tiger monster expressed doubts. Although I have never met you before. However, I am aware that you have been increasingly lifeless this past month. Why are you so full of life now? After listening to Tiger Monster's words, Chansei understood. The original owner of this body must have been someone extraordinary. I need to use this to intimidate Tiger Monster and save everyone's lives. Chansei made up his mind and spoke up. I knew I didn't have much time left at first. However, facing death here has given me a different insight. To be reborn from death. After hearing these words, the fierce tiger widened its eyes. It thought that this beggar could be reborn from death. Surely his spiritual cultivation must also be extremely profound. He then said, what does the teacher think of my cultivation? I have cultivated on this mountain for over 100 years. Now, progress seems unreachable. Would the teacher be willing to give some guidance? Lord Lushan is deeply grateful. Chansei was relieved now. This fierce tiger even used honorifics. So Chansei asked back, Lord Lushan has been practicing until now. How many people did he eat? Upon hearing the question, Tiger Monster felt nervous. He thought that educated people have many ideas. Why not ask him for some suggestions? So he spit out the scholar, who had turned into a charnel spirit, and promised that as long as this time he could help himself, he would let the scholar's soul return to its homeland. After being pointed in the right direction by the scholar, the Tiger Monster said, I dare not deceive you, sir. Lord Lushan has consumed the flesh of 53 people in his practice until now. My goodness, he has already eaten 53 people. Upon hearing this, everyone was frightened. Chansei thought of a way to dispel the tiger monster's idea of eating people. He decided to use a retreat as an advanced strategy, saying, Lord Lushan, I underestimated your sincerity. Humans are the most intelligent beings among all creatures. Some monsters believe that eating humans is the most nourishing. What do you think, Lord Lushan? The scholar continued to suggest ideas for the fierce tiger. The tiger monster truthfully replied, It is nourishing to me, but sir, this question makes me feel uneasy. Please teach me. Chansei pondered and actually threw the question back. This tiger monster is not lacking in intelligence, which suits my preference. Let me show you the wisdom of modern people. So it began. Humans are the most spiritual beings among all things, but also the most emotionally complex creatures in the world. Resentment and anger are entangled in karma and cause. Eating it for a long time can easily lead to addiction. Entangled in a suffocating atmosphere, there is excessive diligence, but still unable to break through. Day by day, month by month, it becomes more and more maddening. It is indeed a path to self-destruction. Upon hearing this, Tiger Monster pondered in secret, indeed a wise person. In recent years, there has been an inexplicable urge to devour more and more people. Quickly inquire if there is a remedy available. Upon hearing Tiger Monster's words, Chansei knew that he had guessed correctly. Secretly thinking of a high-sounding phrase, to completely suppress it, Chansei said after some thought, The method of remedy is not just about empty words. However, its fundamental principle is not profound. Cultivation is like being a person, with a righteous body, a righteous heart, and a righteous path. This is the foundation. Heaven's way tempers the surplus to nourish the humble, while mortal ways strip the lacking to enrich the favored. You asked me before about my understanding. You asked me later how to remedy. All are part of this principle. Chansei. Lord Lushan, you have quite a deep connection with Chansei. In proverb, speaking too much leads to mistakes. Continuing to speak might reveal too much. Chansei then said, Lord Lushan, you have quite a deep connection with Chansei. Today, we have already said enough. Said, and silently waited for Tiger Monster's reaction. To my surprise, Tiger Monster did not reply. Instead, he walked straight into the temple. Chansei and the others were scared to the core. Oh no, we have gone too far. Our lives are in danger now. We are truly grateful for Lord Lushan's guidance. We will never forget his help. After speaking, the fierce tiger's body unexpectedly rose. Its forelimbs crossed, and its claws made a gesture of cupped hands. It bowed to Chansei 3 times. It really is a tiger monster coming to inquire about the crime. Master Chan the trickster's path is too deep. After the fierce tiger bowed to Chansei, it let out a scholarly voice and said, I will keep my promise. You may go. The scholar is overjoyed. After bidding farewell to Chansei, the soul returned to its homeland. Shortly afterwards, the fierce tiger bid farewell and left, saying that it wouldn't disturb the gentleman's rest. Chansei leaned against the mountain god statue all of a sudden. No more strength. Everyone found out that Tiger Monster had left. Busily thanked Chansei with a bow. Chansei explained that it wasn't that he didn't want to help your companions. Right when Scholar arrived, I was in a critical moment and couldn't move my body. In order to save you, I spared no effort to break through the obstacles with my own Taoist skills. Be more careful in the future. Encountering a handsome scholar and a beautiful woman at night is not a normal occurrence. Everyone dispelled their doubts. Continue to thank Chansei. The next day at the crack of dawn, the traveling merchants were all feeling restless and started to prepare to leave. They asked Chansei what his plans were. Chansei is very tired. He vaguely heard someone calling his name. Leave me alone. Don't bother me while I'm trying to sleep. Everyone saw the man driving people away. And so he quietly left. Wait until the sun is high. A little fox came to the temple. Chansei happened to wake up. Startled, it ran away. A bewildered Chansei found that all the merchants were gone. What a mystery. Fortunately, they left some dry rations for Chansei before leaving, so he won't go hungry. Suddenly, a noisy set of footsteps approached, only to see a few young people approaching. All of them were wearing weapons. They also carried 2 hemp bags on their shoulders. I don't know what's inside. They walked into the mountain god temple to rest and regroup. Fei Yin, the leader, walked around the temple. When he saw Chansei, he asked the beggar, "Are you the only one here?" Chansei replied, "Yes." He thought to himself that this group of people had strong breath. They didn't seem like ordinary people. The girl in the team asked if there are man-eating tigers in this mountain. "Do you dare to be here alone?" You have to win their sympathy. So he said he overslept. Everyone's gone. My eyes are not working well. Don't dare to go down the mountain alone. A strong man said it's your lucky day. When we deal with the tiger, we'll take you down the mountain with us. Chansei thought to himself, "Tiger? Lord Lushan wouldn't do that." He quickly asked, "What are you doing here on the mountain?" A big man with a stick laughed and replied, "I heard there's a man-eating tiger on the mountain. We received the official notice to get rid of it, to eliminate harm for the residents of Narcissus Town." Exactly so. That's right. A group of people confidently responded in agreement. The first reaction is that this group of people is getting impatient with the living. The crowd lit a bonfire. Chansei thought it would be better to persuade them again, still hoping to come down the mountain with them. So he spoke up. "I admire your sense of chivalry. Do you gentlemen have any plans?" Fei Yin, the leader, felt that this beggar's manner of speaking was not simple. He replied, "We will use live pigs and sheep as bait. When the ferocious tiger appears, we will all attack together." Chansei is foolish. Is this it? Isn't this just a head-on confrontation? Seeing how confident they really are here to die. He spoke out to advise. If the creature in this mountain is not an ordinary tiger, but a monster that has attained sentience, do you all have confidence? Someone responded, "Monster? Is it true or not?" Beggar, don't be so mysterious. If something unexpected happens, it's not anyone else's fault either. We can't turn back halfway. It's too embarrassing. Chansei thought, forget it. Wait until the moon rises above the eyebrows. Several, great hero, are all dressed up and ready to go. Indeed, with determination, answer the call to defeat the tiger. However, ignoring advice, a fool persists obstinate. The team is ready to set off. One sturdy man turned back and said to Chansei, "Wait for our good news. When we come back, we will take you down the mountain." Chansei quickly shouted, "If young hero Lu arrives in a critical moment, can shout to let you know, Mr. Chan. Remember? Chunfeng Lu looked puzzled and followed the team. They arrived at a predetermined location. They tied the sheep and pigs to the trees, then all hid in the trees, waiting quietly for the arrival of the ferocious tiger. After a long time, everyone waiting was exhausted. Suddenly, a gust of wind came from a distance. It made the branches around sway. Just heard a cracking sound. A 4-meter-long fierce tiger appeared in front of the live pig. The people in the trees were all standing with their hair on end. What a big fierce tiger! The fierce tiger stopped next to 2 domestic animals. Its fur swayed in the wind. Why isn't this tiger eating? I saw the tiger look up at the treetops. It opened its mouth. Interesting. Mortal warrior? Since you're looking for death, it shouldn't be regarded as violating the teachings of the master. Everyone's scalp tingles. goosebumps all over the body. This fierce tiger has truly become sentient. Since you're here, play with me first. The fierce tiger pounced towards the crowd. Fei Yin drew his long sword. With a swing, the sword slashed through. There was only a loud bang. In an instant, the sword shattered and hurt someone. Life and death are uncertain. A big man approached, wielding a stick. He had not yet gotten close. Then he was struck by an iron-like tiger tail. And he was sent flying, crashing into a big tree. Cheng Fenglu shouted, "Let's fight!" The fierce tiger's big mouth was already hanging above his head. At this moment, he suddenly remembered Chan Sei's words. "Shout that we know Mr. Chan." At this moment, the tiger's mouth is only 0.01 centimeters away from him. "Have you been to the mountain god temple, Mr. Chan?" "Yes." "Yes, there was a beggar in the temple who advised us not to come. But we didn't listen. He advised, 'When you see him, you can call out, 'Do you know Mr. Chan?'" The tiger thought for a moment. The injured crowd dared not even take a breath. "Since it is the master's message, of course, I will be cautious. But I am also unsure if you are deceiving me. Let's go to the mountain god temple together." On the other side, Chan Sei is still fantasizing about whether they can succeed by chance. Suddenly, a sound of footsteps was heard, with other sounds seemingly mixed in between. "Who is it?" "Lord Lu Shan." Chan Sei felt as if 100,000 alpacas were running through his heart. What a damn bastard. How did he lure him over? Lord Lu Shan has met the master. In the incredulous eyes of people on Chengfeng Street, the tiger monster actually bowed to Chan Sei as a disciple. Chan Sei breathed a sigh of relief. It seems like talking can get things done. "Lord Lu Shan, no need for more courtesy." The tiger monster continued. "Last time, you taught me that cultivating like being a good person. Stand upright, avoid evil deeds. Keep a pure heart and clear mind. Tonight, they set up an ambush to kill me first. I should have no problem killing them. Why does Sir want to leave a message to save them?" Chan Sei thought it was bad. "Your mother, a tiger. Why is your leadership ability so strong?" "I must give a reasonable answer. Otherwise, the consequences will be very serious. As the saying goes, with good intentions to save, I find myself in peril. Yet the wary tiger lurks, ready to pounce." Chan Sei wants to compliment him first before speaking. No student dislikes being praised by their teacher. You can draw inferences about other things from one thing. Hearing the words and ceasing the killing shows that Lord Lu Shan has extremely high comprehension. He also has strong execution ability. These people come to the mountains to hunt tigers. The root cause is that Lord Lu Shan ate people first. They entered the mountain afterward. Of course people want to kill me. I can kill people myself. Otherwise, wouldn't it be foolish to wait for death? Lord Lu Shan felt extremely relieved when he heard this. Even the tiger's head was nodding slightly. However, they conspired with the hunter for the tiger's skin. The medicine merchant's intention in conspiring for the tiger's skin is different. Entering the mountains is for the sake of peace for the people, not for personal gain. Lord Lu Shan thinks, are there many people like this or not? The fierce tiger replied with clasped hands and said, "Not many. Chivalrous heroes like them, although young and reckless. But as long as you adhere to your original intentions, can contribute more to the world." Lord Lu Shan was not wrong to kill him, but the world is lacking a few chivalrous heroes, which is truly a pity. A few young heroes have strong martial arts skills, but in front of Lord Lu Shan, it's child's play. Only then will they beg Lord Lu Shan to spare them. I also want to make an interesting agreement with Lord Lu Shan. Could Lord Lu Shan please grant this favor? Please go ahead, sir. These people are righteous today. It doesn't mean they will always behave properly in the future. Lord Lushan can serve as a witness. If someone does wrong in the future, you will be in charge of administering justice. Whether it is swallowing or beheading, it is not against the heavenly way. But if someone among them can truly act righteously and chivalrously, Lord Lushan's actions today are enough to offset past wrongdoings. It is truly a great deed. This is a case of a clear conscience and enlightened mind. Lord Lushan listens with eyes shining like a tiger. The demonic energy is growing strong. All previous doubts have been dispelled. He instantly got it. Mr. S' meaning is that I, Lord Lushan, have a chance to manifest. Otherwise, how could I fulfill the agreement in the mortal world? Rather than saying Mr. intends to save these few people, it's more like Mr. is using them, conveniently sending a big chance, a big opportunity to assist me. Then clasping both hands together, they listened to Mr. S' teachings. Thank you, Lord Lushan. I shall obey Mr. S' commands. Do you need me to accompany them down the mountain? Several people hurriedly shouted. No need, no need. We can manage on our own. Chansei said, let them go back on their own. The tiger said, receive Mr. Lushan's guidance again. Lord Lushan has nothing to offer for now. However, he can give these young heroes a face. After you descend the mountain, you can tell others that the fierce tiger has been killed. No need to worry from now on. As the tiger spoke, it bared its teeth, spitting out a white tiger skin. Its fur stained with blood, as if it had just been peeled off. Mr. Chan, the student begs to be excused. The tiger leaps up fiercely. It leaves with a trail in the wind. Chansei breathed a sigh of relief. I thought I finally managed to fool my way through. Suddenly felt all over like an electric shock, like itching. In a daze, the index finger and middle finger converge to create the illusion of a chess piece. Wait for Chansei to raise his hand again. But then it disappeared again. The people outside the temple bowed in gratitude. They said their companion was injured and needed treatment. Sir, would you like to come down the mountain with us? Chansei was just waiting for this line. He quickly agreed. At 4 in the morning, the night watchman saw a group of people approaching in the distance. Who is that? A big man leading the group. He was carrying a large tiger skin. It's Chansei and his group. As the saying goes, Chan the Great Deceiver unleashes his charm anew. Startled we may be, yet safely we descend the mountain.